Hi, Daddy. If you like what you see, comment and subscribe.
Sipping on a 40. You don't know it's been a minute, huh? Homie, I'm back. Yeah, I said, homie, I'm back.
Huh? Microphone check 1 2 1 2. Today is Monday. This is the vibe. Sometimes you just gotta get out there, kick out Erykah Badu and do your thing. You know what I'm saying? You feel me? Anyways, today I felt that it was important that we hit on mentors. First and foremost, I probably wouldn't be here without my mentor, and I think it's important that we pay homage to people that's here while they're still here. You feel me? So I was sitting back in a meeting yesterday. No, not yesterday. I'm sorry. Last week for work. And I was it was about a team summit, and they were talking about mentors, and they touched on it. And so, you know, of course, my loud, outspoken self had to talk about my mentor. And they were saying, like, you know, what's a mentor you had in your life, but they also said basically, yo, name the qualities your mentor needs to have. And I kept saying Ned over and over, and I was pissing off the people I was working with.
Hi, Daddy.
I was like, yo, why you keep saying Ned? I was like, well, they said you're looking for qualities. I said, well, Ned, I don't. Basically, Ned is the identity of what I feel a mentor should have been or should be. For those that don't know me well enough, let me give you guys a little bit of insight to myself and why I say Ned is a great mentor. So let's rewind all the way back to when I was 8, 9. So 8, 9, I told you guys about the abuse and stuff. This is after my mom kicked his ass out the house. So after that, I became this somewhat timid kid and then an angry one, right? And I remember my homeboy Drew was standing up the street from me, and they just started to like kind of slowly take me under their wing, his dad. And, you know, at this time, I didn't have a dad. So for a young, angry black kid from the city, it kind of helped in my progression. Ned coming around, he's you know, telling me, yo, you know, these are the things that, you know, you're supposed to live for, and these are the things that you're supposed to basically die for, right? So he gave us little jewels like that from time to time. And if y'all don't believe me, you know, ask Drew. So Ned actually showed me what like a father figure is supposed to be. Always present, always vigilant. I remember I wasn't doing so well in school, and I was at his house, and I had a history report, and it was on the atomic bomb, Hiroshima. Never forget this. They had like the dope ass printer. This is probably when I want to say I'm like 13, 14. And they had this bomb printer that they printed out this picture of the atomic bomb. And for a whole page, it was a page report that I had to do. And Lee and Ned are editors, which is Drew's mom and dad. They're editors. So I thought I wrote the paper to perfection. But I kid you not, like, for that one paper, they made me write over and over and over and over and over again. And that's when I started to get this obsession, right? That they installed in me, that you can feel like something's perfect, but it's not until basically your mentor says it is. Or it's not until that you can actually reach a certain point of gratification. Like after I was done with that paper, I don't think like there was a thing they could tell me. Side note, I still got a B plus. I don't know why. Dad was like, yo, you know, next time, like, ask your teacher, like, basically what he's looking for, because this is a damn good paper, and it was. So I say that to say, like, without that guidance and things like that, like, without him showing me what the dad should be, what the dad can be, and how a dad should conduct himself, I probably wouldn't be the man I am today. And I owe that to Ned. There was so many things that he installed in me. Like, for instance, hard work ethic. Like, you got to get out there and work for what you want in life. And if you don't get out there and work for what you want in life, you won't get what you want in life. I remember, and it was funny because a lot of the times we as African Americans think of white privilege and like, yo, like, white privilege, everything's given to you. Like, Ned grew up in Hawthorne. And I remember Lee was telling me a story about how, because one day I was eating real fast in the kitchen. And she was like, why are you eating so fast? She was like, you have to slow down and stop eating your food. I mean, process, eat your food, chew it, then swallow or whatever. And, me, my mom was a single mom and it was just us. So when I got food in front of me, I was killing it young, early in life. I still smash food, but it's in a different way now. Like, now I savor it, things like that. But she was telling me that, she was like, yeah, Ned used to eat like that. Because he had the same upbringing, basically, that I had. And he didn't always have his food and stuff like that. So he used to scarf his food down as well. And that kind of resonated with me. I think that a good mentor has to kind of understand your struggle. Understand where you're coming from. And then teach you that you can rise above it. So I'm saying all this because as a dad, I look towards other people to mentor my daughter and other people to mentor my son as well. Like, I can be on a discipline tip. I can read to them at night. I can do the things that I'm supposed to do as a parent. But as we all know, as humans, once we get a certain age, we don't listen to our parents as much and we look to others for some type of guidance. See, the disconnect that I think that I had with my mom was that she was always busy because she always had to go out and provide for us. So it was nice to go to Drew's house and talk with his father, sit down and understand where I'm coming, where I'm going in life, what avenues to take, which ways to live. I remember when I first started working for the county of Los Angeles, they basically threw me like a big party, like not like an actual party, but like theoretically like a small celebration in my honor, like, just giving me the big ups. And it meant a lot to me. And, that wasn't the end point. Like, they showed, like, they were there for me for graduations. They were there for me, I can't tell, like, they showed up to my first housewarming. They showed up to my college graduation. They dropped things off. Like, these are things that we need as children growing up. Our kids need it. We need it as, like, people. Like, I'm telling you, like, there's no way I turn out the way I have without them. There's no way I can actually sit here and say confidently that without my mentor, I would be in the place that I am now. Like, small things like, you got to save and make sure that you remain the way that you are, because I'm giggly as hell. I'm always laughing and playing and joking. And I remember one day, me and Ned were in the pool, and he came out, because he swims laps, and he's like, I really love the fact that you can laugh and joke constantly. He was like, I work with guys that can probably squeeze a penny in their ass. They're so uptight. And those are things that, one, showed me that I was doing something well, because people would tell me to stop joking all the time. So for someone to encourage me to be myself it's love. It's something that you can't grasp onto without understanding the gravity of it. Like there's a gravity to the things that have been told throughout my life from my mentor. Also, they call my daughter and my son their grandchildren, and my daughter calls her Drew's mom Granny Lee and Grandpa Ned. Like, my kids love them. It's generational when you have a good mentor. So outside of just being a parent, sometimes you just gotta reach out and grab somebody. Like, I hope one day, I've been trying to get my daughter into this Zeta group for a while now, just so she can grab some mentors from people that identify with her, understand her, and so on and so forth. My my father can only go so deep. Like, when they say like it takes a village to like raise a kid, they're not just talking about like theoretically like, oh yeah, grandma. Like, it's outside people as well, because we all know that our peers affect everything that we do in life. Like, everything. Like, there's nothing that I did in my teenage years that my friends weren't tagged along with. You know what I'm saying? And I felt like I was one of the good ones, you know? So, when things got dark throughout my life, I could always look like towards a mentor. For instance, when I had open heart surgery, Lee and Ned let me come and stay at their house. And they didn't have to. It was right before I went up to the Bay with Jay. And I remember one day I was sitting on a bed, Drew's bed, which Drew was in New York, so I guess it was my bed at the time. But anyways, I was sitting there, and I was soaking because I was so miserable, and I was apologizing for everything. And I remember Ned just came in and was like, "Yo, you got to stop apologizing for things that you go through. It's all about, like, life is all about the things that you go through. And that you should look to them and continue to push forward versus apologizing for everything. You don't have to apologize for this. It just happened to you." And in that time, I wasn't really understanding of that. Like I'm a caring spirit, so when people disappoint me or something like that, I get all down. And he was just right there to pick me up, bootstraps, like, for real. I was talking to my daughter the other day. And, she's going through all these hormonal changes and stuff, body's changing, so on and so forth. Stuff I don't really want to talk about because I'm uncomfortable about it, but whatever, it's a dad thing. I'm sitting there and I'm talking to her about just life. And, I asked her little small questions that she has no idea how to answer, just to keep her on her toes. Hey, Zaya, what's a FICO store? Hey, what do you have to do when you want to refinance something? So she just looks at me with a blank face. And I only do it to her because, for one, it's funny to me. And for two, I just want her to, like, know things. So there's going to be a time where our kids are going to stop listening to us. And I think I'm approaching that time. Whereas I hope there's someone there that's going to pick up, because we can only plant a seed in our kids at a young age. Then at a certain point, it's time for them to start running on their own. It's just like that whole saying, like, yeah, you can tell your kid they're beautiful a million times. That doesn't mean that they feel like they're beautiful because they feel like their parents are supposed to say that. That's kind of how the pendulum swings in life. Like, you're supposed to say that, Dad. You're supposed to say that, Mom. But this stranger over here that, like, actually genuinely cares for me, they're not supposed to say that. So the fact that they're saying that, I can kind of believe it. That's where we are in this life. Also, I really, really do want to give a shout out to my mom, because although I don't want to seem like I'm shitting on my mom. My mom by far is the strongest person on this planet. Not only did she raise four of us, but she did it without complaining. You know how hard it is to do shit without complaining? Let me give you an example. I'm a complainer. I complain every fucking day. Like, I get my work done. Don't get it misconstrued. I will get my work done. But on the everyday grind basis of raising kids and not complaining, like, that's a shield that I'll die on. Like, my mom did it, so like now I can do it. That's the only thing I don't complain about, and it's strictly because of my mom. Like, when people like try to press the narrative about, oh well, shouldn't so and so be doing this? Don't you feel like she should be doing that? At the end of the day, it doesn't matter what I feel like. It's all about what I'm doing. Sometimes we have to sit back and just do. And my mom did that for years. And I'm not just talking about 18 years, because my sister is older than me. I have two sisters that's older than me, and then I have a younger sister. So she did it over a span of probably 22, 23 years, 24, 25 years of grinding through and pressing on and struggling. So I just wanted to make a clear point that I will never shit on my mom. I'm just giving props where props is due. I want to absolutely, positively push the positivity of my mentor. I want them to know that it's all love. Ned and Lee, I could not have done this without you. I could have not be in this spot that I am without your mentorship and pushing me forward. And you guys have made me a greater person, as well as my mom. And together it was like a powerhouse to like make this great person. That's cocky as hell. Oh well, whatever. Anyways, also on a side note, I had the weirdest thing happen to me the other day. So my homeboy Dale really wants us to film this video. However, it's really hard to film the video with him because he's such like a busy person. So we are going to get this video out, and I want everyone to just wait for it. I don't know when it's coming, but it's coming. It's going to be dope. Also, this is a family friendly podcast or video cast. Fuck you, Randy. But I don't let my kids listen to it. I'm just saying. Like, they'll listen to it later. It's like a diary. But like, as of for right now, they need to just focus on living life, and not that their dad is, semi-famous. Because once I get 100 subscribers, it's all over. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. I just want to say that I appreciate you guys coming on this journey with me time and time again. And until next time, I got to get out of here and raise these kids.